All right, so Thursday night. Welcome
Thursday
to
night.
Loot Shooter Weekly. And as you can see, we're in a different loot shooter than we've
That's
been
right, we
in.
are.
We're in a different loot shooter. Man, we have a lot to talk about, I suppose. We're in Destiny 2, which got an update, which is called Beyond Light. And Negan and I played through the campaign this week. So
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
finished that off. Campaign was good. I titled tonight's stream On the Hunt with a Side of Salt. Yeah, on the hunt with a side of salt. Because also this week then launched immediately following that, 1 week in here, they launched the Season of the Hunt. So we're going to start that tonight. Neither of us have started that. So that's what we're going to be running tonight is the mission that starts that off. I feel like there's a ton to talk about because this update, Beyond Light, is kind of polarizing, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
For
Yeah, it does seem
me,
like that
I
way.
mean, yeah, it's kind of polarizing, and it's not a secret. I'm of the loot shooters that we play. This one is number 3 out of 3 for me. My third favorite. My favorite's Borderlands. My second favorite's The Division, and this is a distant third. And yet,
Distant. It's been demoted to distant third tonight. Uh-oh.
it's a distant. It was always a distant third. It hasn't been demoted. Although if there was an update that was going to demote it, this would probably be it. However, on the flip side of that, I think both Negan and I love the story content in these updates. Destiny's a great. Bungie does storytelling well, and they craft really good missions. And this one
to
in
move the story
particular
forward and
has some
tell
of
the
the
story. Yep, I agree.
yeah. This one in particular, I think, had some of the best boss fights in Destiny 2. They were almost like slightly mini raid-like boss fights, which for story missions is great. And I think Borderlands did a little of that in some of their DLCs as well. Adding some mechanics into just the boss fight, so it's not just shooting a giant bullet sponge enemy. And I like that. I liked it a lot. I liked the story. But this update came with its fair share of glitches, and it came with its fair share. Yeah, and it came with its fair share of controversy. Because they sunset like 90% of the weapons and armor in the game, and of the remaining 10%. Probably 50% of those are set to expire at the end of this season. So when you look at my inventory now, there's, when you go into the details on anything, it'll tell you the max power it can go to. So 1260 on this Gallant Charge. And 1260 is the end of the season, right? So the current power level cap is 1260. So as soon as next season begins, this gun goes away as well. And they didn't add a ton of new loot. And even some of the stuff, so this is 1360, so this Arsenic Bite is an old bow, but it's a new version of it, and this will last me till the end of next season, theoretically, if I wanted to keep it around that long. And then they added new guns. So, like, this one will go to 1410, or the season after the season. The problem is guns that only go to 1260 are still dropping in the game.
Right.
And so is armor. And even worse off, things that could only go to 1060, which would have been last season, are also still dropping in the game. Thus creates an issue. You can still get,
I can't imagine why that would be an issue, getting guns that can't be powered up past the level that they drop at in a season that's passed. I don't understand why there's an issue there at all.
Nope. Yeah, so that was a problem. So of what's left, not even everything's viable. Now, this week at Bungie, they said they're going to address that next week. I think next week. And they're adding in the guns from the last 2 seasons, some of which are coming back. and will last a little longer. So theoretically, that's going to address that to some extent, and I think we can all rejoice at that.
Yes. Definitely
Don't know
more fun to have more options.
Yes. Don't know if it'll be enough. But we'll see. And then the other thing that they introduced with this particular update is a new subclass called Stasis, which I'm running right now, which, is ice, basically, in essence. And it's fun. It's a fun subclass to run. Some builds are more powerful than others. So today they nerfed down the Warlock a little bit. Stasis is strong against bosses, and so I think a lot of people are feeling like the new raid, the boss fights may be a little bit easy. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, they addressed it. It was broken. I mean, just how powerful it was against some of the raid bosses that they were showing off on some of the streamers and stuff like that. It was just straight up broken.
Yeah.
They say they addressed it.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. So all of that should catch you up to where we're at this week. And again, we've done nothing with the hunts yet. Now, the part of the reason for that, I think, is we didn't play this last night after it launched. And two, I feel like I've heard this one before. So do a bunch of remedial activities and then get the right to go chase down a boss, a mini boss. It rings a bell. Maybe like Nightmare Hunts, or maybe like Tangled Shore, spider bounties. I don't know. I feel like we've done this before.
Yes.
So
it does have that feel to it for sure. And they've done that kind of feel to it.
It does have that vibe. And so, it's not like something that I was dying to get in on. I don't think Negan was dying to get in on it either. And so we didn't quite get to it yet. So we're going to get to that tonight. Before we do get to that tonight, what are you drinking, Negan? What are you going to use to kill the pain tonight?
Kill the pain tonight? Tonight I am drinking a beer from Laughing Monk Brewing, which is called Joe Pistachio, and it's a milk stout, which I thought you might enjoy. That I'm going off my normal lager Kolsch style stuff and going into milk stout. And actually, first one, this one's pretty funny. It's they have a hey kid, stop staring, grab your shine box. You can't grab your shine box, a can of Joe's Pistachio, and show the world you're worth a damn. These easy drinking stout features pistachios, chocolate, and vanilla, and is funnier than a wise guy. What do you mean funny? Like a clown? Do I amuse you? Huh? Light in body, sinister, and dark in everything else. So there we go. Joe Pistachio milk stout.
That actually sounds delicious, man. And me, I love stouts. I love stouts.
Yes. And
I went the other direction.
Chocolate vanilla really attracted me to it, so we're going to find out how it is. And what are you going with?
Pistachios. That's what sounds really good about that to me right there. I went with something from O'Fallon Brewery, which is down in Missouri. I went with their Wheach. It's literally called Wheach. 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 It's a peach wheat beer.
Peach wheat. Okay.
So
I did go the other way.
I did go the other way. Cheers, Negan.
Cheers,
it's
buddy.
We're in the middle of where I live in Chicago, and I know we talked about this last night. We're in the middle of hardcore Corona. The Rona is getting us hard here right now, and
yeah,
we go on lockdown tomorrow, and so I want something that felt like summer. I don't know, something about that sounded good to me.
The summer that never was.
The summer that never was. So right. I went with a peach wheat beer.
Go back to your summer where you were hiking in Colorado mountains and all that good stuff. Trying to take back it.
Yeah, kind of take it back. Wow, that has a very strong peach taste. That is not like a little peach. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay, so
how's Burt doing in general? We didn't even get to the how you doing segment that you started off with. How's Burt Reynolds doing in general tonight?
I'm all right, man. If I'm honest, probably a little down. That whole idea of going back on lockdown is the most miserable thing to me, but Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Yeah, we're doing something very similar. They're talking about starting to impose a curfew and stuff on us over here. We just fell back into the highest threatening tier here as well. So yeah, I know it's getting draining across the board. I think for everybody, it's getting a little draining.
It is, yeah, and it's like the county I live in is the county currently that's the worst in all of Chicagoland, and thereby, because only Chicagoland matters, all of Illinois. And so it feels like a lot, I guess. Feels like a lot. Anyway, I don't want to be a downer.
No,
so
no worries. Not a downer. Just asking how you were, and it makes sense. I think everybody's feeling the same way.
how are you doing?
Pretty good actually. My football team that I support and have loved for years won tonight, so that's a plus.
Yes, you are an oddball. You live in San Francisco and like the Seattle Seahawks.
I like the Seattle Seahawks. I moved down from Washington, so that's my excuse.
There it is. Okay. Well, that's acceptable then.
Or I just embrace the contrarian side of me that everybody down here hates Seattle so much that it's just more fun to root for 'em. There's always that possibility too.
That is a fair possibility. And knowing you're rebellious, I know you're a little bit rebellious.
You're gonna play the odds out. It's probably more true than anything else, huh?
Yeah, I could see that being the case.
Big ass night.
Well, there's a giant knight.
Monster night.
A monster knight in a monster hunt. That seems right. So I even actually put a build together in this game. So that's something I haven't done in ages.
Are you running right now?
I am. I got wrecked by that knight. I am. It's Frosties. And you got wrecked too.
Same
it's
night.
Frosties.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Just Frosties with a
Monte Carlo. Yep. And so I got a lot of regen on my knife throws because the stasis class for the hunter, at least, I don't have any aspects yet or shards yet or any of that stuff. So the default one is knife throws, and this is it's definitely strong for being able to get your knife charges back quickly, which is, exactly kind of what I needed.
Right. Isn't there because you're using Frosties, those are your exotic boots. 'Cause I thought there was like Ophelia's Spade or something like that that's really good with knives. Bringing back knives and stuff like that.
Oh, you just get an extra knife charge. But I think that's specific to the running the fire subclass, and I'm running stasis, so Frosties get to you back if you're running. If you could see my screen, it says like anytime I'm running, I get a thing called rapid cooldown, which is a buff that buffs your cooldown speed, and so that it cools down everything, not just grenades, but it helps with cooldowns on all things. And
gotcha. Okay.
And if the Monte Carlo is really good for getting back. Knives count as melee damage.
Okay.
And so the Monte Carlo gets you back melee quickly.
Yeah, I know it used to be a really good go-to gun, so it sounds like it might be making a little bit of a comeback for you.
Yeah, I love them. I mean, the Monte Carlo's a Destiny 1 gun, and so I have a strong affinity for it.
Embracing all sorts of nostalgia with this. Cosmodrome, Monte Carlos.
Yeah, so that is an interesting thing, right? Because the Cosmodrome came back, and it's really fun. I love just running around there. There's nothing to really do there, other than there's currently a loot cave, which is total nostalgia for Destiny 1 as well. Loot caves were a big thing in Destiny 1.
Right, and it was
Careful
funny. Whoa.
Careful coming in here.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and it was actually kind of humorous when we first hit the Cosmodrome the first time we went through it with you. I've never been in it, but you're like, oh yeah, you have two guys fighting over here, and two houses will be fighting over here, and there's a tank thing over here. It was literally like you had gone back to your old friend.
Yeah, it was. And it's funny how much I missed it. You know, it feels like home. I wish there was more to do there, because, you know, that would be cool if there was actually like a reason to be there more than just, you know, 'cause.
Right.
But yeah, it's that's probably been, to this point, my favorite part is just, you know, going back, playing some Cosmodrome, running around on patrol like you did in Destiny 1, and it feels good. But the only way to really get a power upgrade there right now, you know, once you hit 1200 soft cap and try to get to 1250 hard cap, the only thing you can get there possibly is prime engrams. So a loot cave, good for that. But it's not, you know, it's not like running hard, difficult activities that would, you know, get you powerful gear tier 2 or any of that kind of stuff. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. Prince Aldrin. Oh, all those characters are gone. Yeah, that's one of the things right there. You know, planetary, the planetary NPCs that sell gear, all that gear is not available at a power level that would even be playable this season.
Wow.
Weird.
It's made some different. So you had mentioned earlier that there was a little polarizing, and I know you do the Reddit and look at the Reddit and stuff like that. So some of your opinions on it, just in general, outside the campaign. It's a campaign that we agreed the campaign was done well, story was well told, the campaign missions moved the story forward, did good missions and stuff like that. But was it just the guns and the sunsetting that you have an issue with, or that was disappointing, or is there other stuff that you are finding disappointing as well?
Well, I think, you know, you and I have often talked about this. When you come back to this game, if you've left it, you know, I really feel, this is how I feel about Destiny overall. Well, a couple thoughts, I guess. One, play any way you want, play it your way, as long as it's their way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I don't like that, because they say that their motto's play your way, but it's not. And then anytime you come back, you're like totally lost, and they don't give you a lot of guidance, right? You have to look everything up online because it's not like obvious, you know, where to go or what to do. Not as much has changed as I had hoped. Does that make sense? It's still checklists. It's just checklists after checklists. Like even this new season, The Hunt, when we get this mission done, to do a hunt, you have to fill a lure with bait, and you get that by running Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit.
Right.
That's a checklist. Another checklist.
And playing away what they want you to play, not necessarily how you want to play, because I don't want to do Crucible.
Right.
If I have to do Crucible to do anything, it's going to be a little frustrating.
Right. Right.
Gambit I can do. Gambit's enjoyable. I can do that. Strikes, obviously, but they're going to force you into certain events just because. I never quite understood why they did that.
Have you played the revised Gambit, the new Gambit? Because it's different now, I guess.
It's been a while since I played it, so I'm going to say no. I haven't played it recently.
Yeah, it's been revised a little bit. I guess it's like kind of a halfway mix between Gambit and Gambit Prime.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Probably a little faster then.
Probably. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I just read about it. The other cool thing they did add, though, is they added a new location, Europa. And Europa does have a lot to do. There's a couple new exotic quests. There's a bunch of new missions there. That's where you get the things like aspects for your subclass. Like if you look at my stasis subclass here, um, you have these aspects that you can load in, but they're behind a bit of a time gated quest that takes apparently quite a while. But yeah, and I think there's other within the abilities you can do some respecking within Revenant here, because I've seen people, using very different grenades than I'm using and whatnot while still running the subclass. So there's obviously some stuff to be done there.
Right.
All right. I wasn't listening to Spider, so that kind of stink. So beers. How are you feeling about your beer, Negan?
Beers. My Joe Pistachio actually is pretty good. Is
it good?
I'm not getting pistachio from it though. Ironically, I'm not tasting the pistachio I'm supposed to be tasting.
Well, I wonder.
Maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot.
When you mentioned that, I did wonder, just because to me pistachio is one of those things that there's pistachio. How do I put this? There's pistachio flavoring that is not the same as like eating a pistachio nut, right? You know what I mean? And like watermelon, that's another one of those ones, right? Like watermelon gum does not actually taste like what it tastes like when you eat a watermelon.
No.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, a lot of flavors you can pull off, but there's it's sort of like the blue raspberry, right? There's just no such thing as a blue raspberry. It's not real.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, we all know what blue raspberry flavoring tastes like. So I wonder if they're using, my bet is they're using real pistachios versus putting some artificial pistachio flavoring in there, which might be why it's like, what does that taste like? Earthy?
It does
buttery,
have that, now that
nutty.
As I'm taking a drink and talking about it, it does have the kind of nutty kind of flavor to it. So it does have that. That's probably what the pistachio is, or what they would consider. So they probably do use real pistachios, which is nice. It's good to know they don't use flavorings. But it kind of overwhelms. Now it's warmed up a little bit too, so it's getting a little more nutty than not. But it's a little sweet. I'm not picking up a lot of vanilla. A little bit of chocolate, but not a lot. Pretty good. It's good. It's a good beer. I'm not gonna pour it down the drain or anything like that. That'd just be insane. So it's a good beer. I'm enjoying it. I'm just, not high on my list. And it might be just tonight, a whole off night, being a Thursday, being a long week and stuff like that. So I'd probably give this one in the range of about maybe a 6, to be honest. 6 out of 10. It's okay. Okay. It's a little meh. And
little meh.
Little meh. How about your peach blast? As when you first took the drink out of it.
Yeah, it is very, very, very peachy. It's good. It's good. I like it. I don't want to give the impression I don't like it. But it is very, very, very peach. So if you're the kind of person who loves peach,
here's your beer.
Fallon's Wheach is for you. If peach is not your thing, or overly fruity beers are not your thing, then O'Fallon's Wheach is definitely not for you.
If you're looking for a wheat beer, it's not the beer of your choice. More peach than wheat.
Yeah. Well, and I do wonder, like, there's no way you're kind of talking about what we were just talking about. There's no way that this is natural peach flavoring.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, it's the opposite of your beer, where it's like, I don't perceive any of, that in, like, any pistachio in mine, because it's not the artificial pistachio flavoring. This is definitely artificial. There's nothing real about that. So it's what it is, man. But it's good. I would like, this would be great on a hot summer day. And since today I'm pretending it's a hot summer day,
there you go.
It's perfect. It's excellent.
Nice. Well, good.
Yeah. All right. So with that,
little new stuff, little bit of salt, not as much salt as there could have been considering our previous discussions on this stuff. So, good show, good discussion about stuff.
Yeah, ultimately, I think you and I you and I talked about it a little last night. Like, I didn't pay for this because we're on Xbox and
Hmm.
it's part of Season Pass. If I had paid for this, I wouldn't have even done this show tonight. I would have had nothing nice to say. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, if I had paid money for this, I'd be upset. I didn't pay anything for this, so I'm not upset. It's not, it's free content for us on Xbox. If I was on PS4 or PC, I might be upset. Um, and we're not no-lifing this, and I think that's really the key for me with Destiny. Is Destiny is one of those games that to be good at it requires an exceptional time investment, right? Even just getting some of the exotic weapons, might take you 10 hours. It's exceptional time investment.
Hmm.
And I think, at least, I can't speak for you, but I can speak for myself. I'm committed to giving this a bit of time every week, but I'm not going to know life this game. Because I don't want to. And I don't have to. But the problem with Destiny is it's so built on the FOMO model, fear of missing out constantly, that it's hard not to at times, right? It's hard not to want to know life it because you don't want to get left behind by your friends. We have some friends who know life this game, and so you don't want to like be left behind by them. But at the same time, I don't have to play this. I don't have to
Hmm.
know life it. I can play it a couple days a week, enjoy what I'm doing, and be okay with that. And I think as long as I keep that mentality, I won't be disappointed.
That's right. That's a good mentality to have. And with the other games,
Yeah,
and we touched on this. We didn't really touch on this in the show necessarily, but with everything else going on and all the other games and other stuff going on, that there's a small window of opportunity to really, if you wanted to know life, Destiny, with like we talked about Cyberpunk coming out, and the other games kind of with new content that the other games are dropping a little bit. So yeah, it's a small window of opportunity for them. Hopefully the patches and stuff they're doing will improve it a little bit. And maybe
yeah,
after the raid, because there's also rumors that there's a whole bunch of stuff locked behind the raid. That once the raid's beaten, a whole bunch of stuff's going to unlock as well. So hopefully that's the case, because I think that unlocks the contest starts this Saturday, doesn't it? The raid opens up this Saturday,
yes, yeah,
so it'll
yeah,
be. Hopefully it does. Hopefully a whole bunch of content unlocks and everything blows up and it becomes something other than just. If it is checklisting, at least it'll be new checklists.
yeah. Or at least checklists for better stuff. Like part of the
Mm-hmm.
problem in a loot shooter when you take most of the loot out of it is there's nothing really left to chase. And because a checklist doesn't guarantee you're going to get something good, if you invest several hours on a checklist and then get something that's of no use to you, has bad rolls or whatever, that's not fun. But like last night we went back and raided in Borderlands, and that was great. And I intend to keep doing that. I still love Borderlands, and I want to play
Yep.
a lot more of Arms Race because I felt like we were just getting good at that.
Yes.
Um,
Agreed.
Cyberpunk's coming out. We've got anticipation of a great patch coming from the Division 2, and I'm excited about that. And so I think this will be in the mix. It'll be very much in the mix, but I don't anticipate that, I'm going to grind out max season rank or even that, it could take months for me to get to 1250 and I'm okay with that. Normally I'm like, I get obsessed with that fear of missing out and wanting to be at max power level and I'm just not going to do that this time, Negan. I'm not going to do that this time.
There you go. Have a little more balance to it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's the best way. That's the way I approach it. As you all know, is I'm not. I'm never that one has. I have to be at 1250 by this time, or I'm done. This is. I always take a very laid back approach to it. It's enjoyable. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's like I said. Let's hope they do it. Let's hope the checklists become better stuff that you can go for. All that good stuff, and go from there. That sounds good.
Absolutely. So with that, I think we'll sign off for the night, and we're gonna go do some strikes, so that we can
Right.
charge this lure. Which, yeah, we're gonna go have some fun with that. I haven't done strikes since I've come back, so that'll be interesting and probably a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of fun. So
Should be. Cool.
with that,
Well, with that, indeed, I believe it is time to just go ahead and say, see ya.